Welcome to Backstage with Becca B, with special guest Parissa Koo.
Today's guest has been on stage in the Heights, a chorus line, and more. She also has a YouTube series called Gal Pals, has been in guest star spots on Disney Channel and USA Network, and most recently has played the princess in For the Record Live's The Brat Pack on Land and Sea. Please welcome Parissa Koo.
That better?
Hair going on.
Thank you. Have you colored your hair before?
I've never done that.
No? Oh my God.
I'm scared too.
It's fun, I swear. I know, I was so scared the first time. Actually, for Brat Pack, they made us dye our hair like an orangey, like an orange kind of, like what it has when we went on the ship. So that was the first time I ever dyed my hair like a crazy.
Whoa.
It was so much fun. So worth it.
So my first question is, have you always known that you wanted to be an actress and in theater?
I've always known, I'd say like since elementary school that I've always wanted to be a performer. I did a school musical like in elementary school, and I just couldn't stop doing musicals every year, like throughout school. So once high school came around and I was officially like a theater nerd at my school, I was like, I think I'm going to pursue this. Like, I love it so much. I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing. So yeah, I've pretty much known all my life. Elementary school.
What was the first musical you did in elementary school? Do you remember?
I can't. I remember it being some like, oh, shoot, my mom would know. But it was like a flapper type thing. I think it was flapper.
Okay.
It was some weird like, show that they put for like little kids and stuff. Yeah. So I think it was flapper, and I was like a flapper girl. So I had like I think I was Topaz. I think that was my name, was Topaz. First lead in 5th grade was Scheherazade in the Stories of Scheherazade. So.
Oh, 5th grade. Wow. See, I was like playing the ensemble parts in like little community theater.
Regardless, it's community to have. Like, that's why theater was, because I was so shy in elementary school. Like, my parents were worried about me. They were like, she doesn't talk to anybody. Like, she has maybe like one friend. Like, let's make her do the school musical, and maybe that'll help. It definitely
get her out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes the push is needed.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, parents.
Yes. So I guess this kind of goes along with it, but when was like the first time you realized that you like had a true passion for musical theater?
That I had a true passion for it? I think after, I think I want to say like my 5th grade, like my first lead role, I had a passion for it, but it was kind of still, I think, a hobby. But end of middle school, I loved it so much. I was like, I'm going to be so good at this. And like, taking classes all the time, like got into voice lessons and and dance classes. I was like, I'm going to be on Broadway. So
like I can't stop. And what was the first live theater show you ever saw?
The first theater show I ever saw?
Yeah, like you weren't part of, but you ever saw.
Dang it, what was the first theater show I ever saw? And something that's like professional, right? Like a touring show,
like,
or like
anything live that was like something you.
You know what made a really huge difference to me, of like what really pushed me and like wanting to be in every musical, was when I was about to be a freshman in high school. I went to go see the High School Musical right before I was going to go into high school. It was a production of Thoroughly Modern Millie, and the dancing, the talent on, I was just like, I can't wait to be here like in high school next year and be in these shows. They're so amazing. So yeah, the high school production of Thoroughly Modern Millie before I got to high school was pretty awesome.
Gave you something to look forward to.
Right?
So, I mean, not everyone has that when they're transitioning from like middle school, junior high to high school. So
yeah, I know.
It's exciting.
In high school, I was like, I loved it.
So what first introduced you to like the LA theater community? Since you're
Oh,
part of that now.
well, my story is so weird and long, but basically, I auditioned for American Idol like almost every summer when I was in high school. And so, and I would keep getting like a little bit closer. I know this is not directly answering your question, but I feel like it kind of would
No,
help
fine.
and how I got to LA. But I would go and audition, and then finally it was like I got accepted into Emerson College in Boston for musical theater, and my parents wanted me to do one last audition for American Idol with like my sisters because it was my sister's first time. So I went with her. We both got like through, and then the producers like watched us sing together and then separate and only put me through. And that's the furthest I had gotten. I was like, oh, okay. So I have to like audition for the judges. So it was devastating for my little sister, but she's amazing. And I think they just wanted to cause drama, to be honest. And I went to school. I tried to ask like if I could leave during this time just to go audition for these judges since I made it through and they wanted me to come back. And my instructors were basically like, hey, you should probably just like defer this year. We have a really big class and you could just come back later. So I deferred. I went back, didn't make it to Hollywood, but I got to audition for like Jennifer Lopez and Steven Tyler and Randy.
Yeah, Randy, I think was.
And when I didn't make it there, I kind of was like, okay, I'm still deferred for a year. So I guess I'll just like hang at home for a while. And then I asked my mom, I was like, there are Glee Project season 2 callbacks in New York. So I asked her, I was like, hey, can we go do this? Like, and just like a you and me trip, like go to New York. And we went. We stood out in the cold for like hours, like in the line that you have to wait in to like audition.
Yeah.
I go in, audition for like the first producers, and then they really liked me, so they sent me up to Robert Ulrich, who's the casting director of Glee, and he really liked me too, so they asked me to come to callbacks in LA later on. And then I went through the callback process there, didn't make it on the show. I was very, very close though. The casting director really liked me, Robert, so he told me to just move out to LA, and he'd refer me to some agents and stuff. And so instead of going back to school, I kind of just moved to LA.
Hey, that's a good story. I love that story. Did you see any shows while you went to New York to audition, or was it just like a short trip?
No, I definitely, every time I go to New York, I always go see it. I have to see a show.
Same.
But dang it, I can't remember what I saw. Sorry, yeah, I can't remember.
If you remember later.
Yeah, I have to say, like, this is not even a question you asked me, but my favorite show I think I ever got to go see on Broadway out of just every year. Like, I've gone with my jazz choir from high school and just on random trips, but I really, really loved In the Heights.
I haven't seen that live.
Yeah, I love that show, and I'm so excited for the movie. But going back to your first question, the first show and the way I got introduced into theater, because I already did theater, I had some, friends from back home who were doing theater around the area, and he told me about auditions for this little production of In the Heights, which was like the West Coast regional premiere of the show. So basically, we were the first production that was on the West Coast of it. So yeah, that was my introduction to theater, was being Nina in the Heights.
Oh, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on your resume too, and I was like, oh, she was in the
That
Heights.
was my first theater thing in LA, and it went for so long too because people kept wanting to extend us. Yeah, it was really, really fun. The cast was amazing. Yeah.
So how did you get introduced to the whole For the Record series?
Oh, For the Record. That's a fun story too. I honestly, I was trying to focus more on like television and film at the time. But I was kind of like in a rut. I wanted to just keep going out for all the auditions I submitted to myself that my agent sent me out to. So I self-submitted to a cruise ship gig that For the Record was casting for the Record Live, the Brat Pack. I didn't really fully think about like, oh, I'm going to have to go on a cruise ship if I book this. I was kind of like, hey, I'm going to go do my best, and that's it. Like, I think a few days before I realized, I was like, okay, I have this audition and I am really sick. So I literally was coughing and sneezing and I was disgusting. And I was like, oh God, do I go to this? And I just figured, I was like, I'm getting better. Like I kind of already got through the hump of it. I'm just going to try to learn this music as fast as possible. Cause I thought if I didn't get better, I just probably should cancel. But I went. After learning the music really fast beforehand, because I was like, I don't know if I was going to go. So I had to learn it really fast. I didn't really know it perfectly. Didn't know the scene perfectly. I was going through a rough time just personally with I'm just going to say with my personal life. So there were a lot of things that added to my performance when I did the audition. So I remember going in and they were so awesome. They were all so inviting. The casting director was awesome. The production team was awesome. They're sitting at the table. I was a little freaked out and I was a little like lightheaded because I was still sick. And I walked in, was like, okay, cool. So what do you want me to do? And they were like, okay, sing first. And then we did this and they loved my voice. And then I did my scenes. And I remember I was thinking about the issues I was going through. I started bawling during, I think I can tell you, I forget it was, locker scene with the jock.
Oh my God.
Them and stuff. Yeah. During the audition for the cruise ship thing, I literally just like started bawling and they were like, whoa, and they started clapping. I was like, so a few months later, I booked the cruise ship, was on a cruise ship for like 7 months. And then now they always ask me to come back for playing the princess. So, yeah, for the record's awesome.
What was the experience like on the cruise ship? Like, what was the everyday routine on the cruise ship?
Oh, well, it's lonely at first, but then after a few months, you find this amazing community and like friends that'll be your friends forever that just live around the world. I absolutely loved it eventually. I didn't want to get off at a certain point. I know a lot of people get tired and sick of being like in a confined space, but I was like, oh, this is just like my life. I wake up in the morning, I go to Garden. It was this free buffet that they have upstairs for like the guests, but we were allowed to eat there too. So I would like go sit, just look at the ocean and like eat my breakfast. Then just walk around, meet up with my friends. I would go see my, one of my castmates, Shayna, was also like in a wine lover show on the ship too. She was like in that too. So I think it was, I forget which days they were, but I would go and like get a ticket and just sit and like drink 5 glasses of wine and watch her and like cheer her on. And I think that was almost every week. So yeah, I had a routine down, I think, on the ship every week, but it was really cool to go to beautiful places too, like to St. Thomas and Tortola and Nassau. It was kind of surreal.
What was your favorite place you went during that?
I don't know. They all had like a different thing, at a certain point, we all kind of get a little lazy about trying to actually go do things. But I think my favorite place just to relax and just have this beautiful scenery was St. Thomas. Like when you went to certain places, like the resorts, hotels around, it was beautiful to just like lay on the beach or like just be at a restaurant that's on the beach and just like order a drink or something. So I like St. Thomas.
I went there a couple years ago and stayed at like this beautiful resort, and it was beautiful. It was stunning.
You're like, am I really here right now? Because
speaking about FTR still, if you could bring any For the Record show back to LA, what would it be?
Like, I might be biased, but Brat Pack. I freaking love Brat Pack. My energy and fun, and if I wasn't even a part of the show, I would be sitting in the audience and be like, yes, just living my good life, But I think another show that I really love that's, I get emotional about is I really love Tarantino. I don't really fun, but then it gets really emotional and it just gives me all the feels. So I would say Tarantino, and it was my first For the Record show.
That was the first For the Record show I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah. And wait, it cut out.
Oh, sorry. Did you see it at Rockwell?
No, I saw it at DBA.
DBA. Okay. Yeah, I never saw any shows at DBA. It makes me so sad because they look amazing in that space. So
yeah, I didn't move to LA until For the Record was at DBA.
Okay. My first was Rockwell Table and Stage, Tarantino.
Yes. And now you've kind of performed at Rockwell at like the open mic nights more recently. So.
I know. Love it. It's so fun. There's such an amazing community there. I definitely would more often,
Yeah. So
I miss live theater.
me too. It's like, when can it come back? I need it in my life. Virtual stuff is great, but I was saying yesterday how it's just like not the same when you're like reacting to something on a computer from your home.
It's not the same. It's like it's something about being there in person. It's the thrill of like seeing the sweat come down someone's face, or like, it's so, I miss it.
And not feeling insane when you're the only one clapping or something. Because like I clap for my computer screen and I'm like, oh wait. No.
Yeah.
No one's around. Not live. No one can hear me through my computer screen unless I'm on Zoom. What's on your current theater bucket list that you haven't, like something you haven't done that you want to do?
Oh man. I want to play Eurydice in Hadestown.
I'm so down for that. Let's make that happen.
One day. Broadway, come back.
Yes.
I also, man, I have a lot of roles. They're on a list, but I mean, so jelly. I really want to see Lindsay Pierce in Wicked because that is a dream role. I would totally.
Second person who said that this week.
You what?
Second person who said that this week on the interview.
Oh, really?
Amanda Kruger said that yesterday.
I love Amanda. Yeah, that would be really, really cool. I wish I went to see her before everything closed down, but I'm sure it'll be back soon. And that would be a dream role. I've always, my sister and I would just be Glinda and Elphaba together and would just sing that to each other. We would sing for good down. And what is this telling me and my sister? But yeah, you get this Saigon too. So
yes, I love that show so much. I saw it for the first time at Pantages last.
I heard that cast too.
They were so good. And I've watched it like on Broadway HD like 500 times now.
It makes me cry every time, spoiler here for people who haven't seen Miss Saigon, but when Kim's like husband or something, the guy, like the father, I think. No, it's not the father because the guy she's supposed to marry. He's like he like holds a gun up to her and she's like, don't you harm my son and stuff like that. And like, and then I think she grabs the gun for her, I forget. And then she shoots him. That makes me bawl every time. Like, I'm like, you could just feel my chest. Like I'm having chest spasms of like tearing up because it's just it's so sad. So sad. And then I'd give my life for you. I'm like, oh, this is too much.
And if you watch the Broadway HD version, it's like the emotion is.
See, I haven't actually watched a show on Broadway HD. I keep trying to I like turn on TV and I'm about to, and then for some reason I never end up doing it, but I really want to watch it. Are they all filmed the same way, or is it?
Kind of. I think,
okay. Are they just like people just film them through the past and then you can like watch them?
I mean, I think to some aspects the format might be a little different and the camera angles might be different, but they're all essentially filmed the same way. There's some concert versions on there of shows, and some are the actual shows, but it's cool. I wish there was more on there personally, but
they'll keep. They're like, I'm surprised they haven't put more. I don't know. I feel like they film Broadway shows and then have those film versions, and then should be able to like stick it on.
Now, come on, we're in quarantine. We can't see Broadway.
What's the one that you want on Broadway HD that's not on there right now?
Wicked.
Really? Wicked's not on there? I guess that.
Wicked's not on there. And I'm like, at
come
Universal.
into the show, you know, they're like, I don't want to put it on.
Yeah. I mean, I'll still go to the show.
Yeah.
Especially when Broadway comes back, because as you said, Lindsay.
I know. We'll go see her. You
Yeah.
and me. New York.
Then I'm going to go jet off to West End afterwards. Go to West End.
Oh, heck yes. I'm so mad that I did a very brief trip to Europe, like in my early 20s. And it was just me and my best friends. And we did like 2 nights in London, 2 nights in Italy, and then 2 nights in Paris. No, 2 nights London, 2 nights Paris, 2 nights Italy. And I was so mad. I was like, I need more time in London because I just want to go to the West End, see a show, you know, but we'll just have to go back.
If you could turn any movie or TV show into a musical, what would it be? Current or past TV show or movie?
Man, I wish you could ask me these questions, but like gave me the questions before so I think about it. I'd say the movie or TV show I would want turned into a musical would be Doctor Who.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a British television show. I don't know if everybody knows it. I'm a sci-fi nerd, but Doctor Who would be really cool. Just have it, because it's just such a whimsical show already that, you know, having people sing and dance.
I haven't seen the show, but I know of it.
It's so good. It's, you know, for the nerds, I feel like, but I am that. So
I mean, same to some aspects, same with some things. With, if you ask me about anything Broadway, I can be like, yes, this, and my sisters roll their eyes at me. So it's fine.
I know. Well, one of the leads, I don't think you've ever heard of him. His name is Matt Smith. He was a doctor on Doctor Who, but he was in the American Psycho musical on the West End. So I was like, he's perfect. Just put him, do a Doctor Who musical, it'd be great.
Yeah. He could play himself.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
We go. Perfect. What is something that you know now that you wish you knew, like when you were younger, as like an actress? If you could give yourself advice, basically, what would it be?
I would say, that's a good question. If I had to talk to my younger self, what would I tell her for like acting purposes, right?
Yeah.
To just, like, a thing I struggle with is like, I would have told myself is keep believing in yourself, you know, just keep trusting in your talents, because you're gonna be doing it for so long that you're gonna start not believing in yourself anymore, and you just need to keep believing in yourself. Like, remember the confidence you have on stage and with the friends you have, and like as your younger self, and just hold that really tight and just believe it's always going to be there.
Good advice for anyone, even if you're not in theater. Like that's great advice for everyone, because I feel like we all need to believe in ourselves a little more, right?
Yeah, especially, I'd say just, I know, like in these specific times, like so crazy. We're all just, you know, reeling at like not feeling safe that there's an end to this, you know? So
yeah.
Really
trying to find our motivation and get it back.
Yeah.
Even though we're still like in deep with the quarantine stuff.
I know. And you're in LA, right?
I'm in Texas now.
You're in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh,
awesome. I went home to my family, so it's been nice, but I'm eager to get back to LA once things start to open up.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I'm in Santa Cruz right now.
Okay.
So I'm waiting to like maybe like next year.
Yeah, that's people
back.
are asking me like, when are you coming back? And I'm like, I don't know. It depends.
I know, it really freaking depends.
Yeah. Speaking of, what's the first thing you're gonna do once quarantine ends?
Very good question. When quarantine ends, I am I am going to, well, okay, I know there's fun answers and stuff, but realistically, I'm going to back to LA. One step at a time. Move back to LA. I think I'm gonna hug my friends, like all my best friends I haven't seen in a while. And yeah, and throw a party. I'm gonna throw a huge ass party.
Yes. Yes. I think there's gonna be like so many awkward hugs when this whole thing ends. People are gonna be like, how do we hug? What's hugging?
What is not seeing in person for like a really long time? I'm like, oh my God, I thought I, forgot your face.
Yeah. It's gonna be so odd. Because it's like you see people if you go grocery shopping, but it's
right. And I mean, like I'm and stuff, so we see our families, but there's something different about actually seeing those friends or those co-workers that you saw every day and just be like, oh my God, are you real? Touch their face.
Yeah, and like know the people you see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you think live theater will be different when it's able to safely come back?
How will be different? Like when we're totally safe? I mean,
yeah, like when it's able to come back in any aspect.
I think it'll be way more full of life. Like we'll appreciate it so much more. I think that's a major thing. I don't know, I hope that like when a vaccine comes out and stuff and we all feel safer to even go out and are confident in that, I believe there'll be a way bigger turnout with live theater and more support. And especially with like all the, the movies on streaming services and stuff that you're able to watch live theater, that, people will be like, I want to be at the like real thing now that it's back. So.
Like Broadway HD and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're gifts, but like, there's shows that are on Broadway HD that aren't on Broadway HD that like I'm like, I need this show.
Honestly, Hamilton thing was amazing. That's actually the first time I've seen Hamilton.
Same.
On Disney Plus, and I was like, oh God, this is amazing. And I think I think live theater will still be bustling, but getting to see like the camera angles that they did on certain people's faces and just being able to see how they're expressing that close on stage, it was really cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, not everyone when they go see the show, like they gets to see it up close.
Mm-hmm.
And gets to see the Jonathan spit that was coming out of his mouth and that stuff. But yeah, what was your favorite song in Hamilton?
Oh, my favorite song in Hamilton? Well, okay, so that's the other part I've always wanted to be, was Eliza in Hamilton.
I was thinking that just now.
I was like, Eliza would be awesome. But I love Helpless. I learned Helpless and I love that song. I think that is one of my favorite songs in the show, but that was before I saw the show. And so just like listening to the soundtracks, I really loved Helpless. But then I saw the show and I really, really loved that Thomas Jefferson song. I don't know what it was called. Like starts walking out and like starts like, I don't know. It was just really, really fun and high energy, and what a character,
I know what you're talking about, and I agree. Like the one that starts out the second act, kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And
I don't know why. It's really fun to watch. So.
Yeah, his energy was amazing.
Yeah, that actor in that character, it was just so good.
But I could totally see you as Eliza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I was supposed to see it, but like 1,000 times at Pantages.
At the first, second tour. Or was coming back around, right? Or something like that.
Yeah. It's just that it was supposed to be like stationed in LA for
Mm-hmm.
a year and a half or something.
Yeah. And Joanna was going to be in it.
And Joanna was going to be in it. Yep. I was so excited to see her in it. Well, have you like found anything to work on in quarantine? If so, what? Can you tease anything?
Man, I keep sitting on so many things. I've been trying to record more covers lately. So I have this cover that you should look out for. I just have to record the video still, but that I also have I'm in a web series. It's called Gal Pals. It's just on YouTube, but it's pretty popular. It's an LGBT series, and this is the last season. So the last season comes out, I think, soon. I think it should be like next month or the month after, but soon. So look out for that too. Yeah, but besides that, just chilling, working on personal projects, and it's been pretty awesome.
Nice. It's like finding time to catch up on sleep, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of new TV shows. It's hard to sleep. I'm just watching.
Speaking of TV shows, what TV shows have you been watching?
Oh, my favorite question. I'm such a nerd. I watch so many TV shows. Like, people are like, I don't understand how you could just binge for hours. I'm like, I don't know. I just get into it and I can't stop. But I love, there's this show on HBO Max. It's called Doom Patrol. Awesome. So fun. Almost like Deadpool, but a little lighter, I think. What else am I watching? Did you know there's a new streaming platform called Peacock TV from NBC?
I did not know that.
You didn't know? Oh, yeah, just came out a few days ago. It's they have some of their own original shows too, and there's a really cool show. I haven't watched all of it yet though. It's Brave New World. It's based off the book Brave New World, that sci-fi novel. I don't know if you read it in high school or anything, but it's crazy. It's about a utopian society and the good. Yeah. So I don't know. I really love that. Gosh, I watch so much TV. I'm just such a nerd. I've been trying to watch Cursed on Netflix.
With Captain Langford, yeah, right? I've seen a lot about that.
Yeah, that one's really good. I was such a fan of Merlin that I was like, oh, this is like a darker Game of Thrones version of Merlin. But yeah, anyways, I could go on and on. I watch a lot of TV. But I also loved Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist was so good.
Yes.
So
it got renewed.
Cried every episode, laughed at everything, adore Michael Thomas Grant.
Yes. I'm so happy it got renewed.
He's so good.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm like, this person from LA Theater should be in the second season. This person should be. I'm like, just like making a long list of people who should be in the second season. And I'm like, send this to Paul.
Oh, Patrick. Oh my God. Patrick nails it.
Yes.
Yeah. He is gorgeous. Gorgeous. His song, Belamos.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I remember during Brat Pack, he came back from filming, and he had recorded his song that he was doing for the show, and he just like, we were packing up all the stuff, and he's like, oh my gosh, Parissa, like, you have to hear the song that I recorded for Zoe. And we like had our earbuds in, and I was like, listening, I was like, this is so good. I'm so excited to see it. Yeah. So proud. So I know. I've auditioned for Zoe like 2 times, I think. So
it'll happen. It'll happen. It's gotta.
The casting director of Zoe is the Glee casting director, the one who told me to come to LA. So that's how me and Michael know him.
So it's gotta happen. Yeah, because Michael came to LA because of Glee Project 2, I think, right?
Yeah.
At least.
Project callbacks. We were at Universal City Walk, and I actually, I mean, before that I don't know, I think I mostly knew him because I like Abraham and all the guys who were in the Glee Project season 2, they were doing like a concert at Universal City Walk, and so me and my friend who also were at callbacks went to go support, and I saw Michael, and Michael just serenaded me like after the show. Like, and I was like, we're gonna be friends. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, because he did Brat Pack for a short time.
He actually was part
And
of.
was he on the cruise with you?
What?
Did he do it on the cruise with you?
No, he didn't. I wish. I remember telling him, like, I wish you were my cast, like, that time round, but eventually we got around to it.
Yes.
Together.
Anyways, before we get to the Instagram questions, to close out this portion, where can everyone find you on social media to, like, keep up with projects that you're doing?
Yeah. Social media, I'm on the Twitter, I'm on the Instagram. You can find it at Parissa Koo. It's my name, Parissa Koo, one word. But yeah, I haven't got TikTok yet, so.
I haven't either, but one day, maybe. I don't know, possibly.
You should just put this on TikTok.
Thanks for watching this episode of Backstage with Becca B. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV. And for more content from this interview and more, you can check out my Instagram page at Backstage with Becca B or my Facebook page at Backstage with Becca B. See you next time.